Morning, everybody. Let's move on to the DOW. Again, starting on the weekly chart here, and I think what we just need to do is just get this level in here, because it's actually, I'm going to show you something which is the reason why you need to sit down and actually draw these levels when you can't with a couple of coffee, and not when you've got trades in or trying to put trades in, because it kind of clouds your judgment a little bit. But anyway, so looking at the weekly, you can see how we were following Dickinson 2 weeks in a row, and we're kind of now bouncing off Dickinson at the moment. Now, the thing that is worrying is that crossover. So that is a bullish, a bearish crossover. Okay, so when Dickinson moves below Kijunsen, so Dickinson's blue, Kijunsen's red. So when Dickinson moves below Kijunsen like that, that is normally your first signal that change is about to happen. Okay. Now, the other thing that we need to take cognizance of here is we've got a high, we've got a lower high, and are we forming another lower high here to start building a lower bottom? Okay, so weekly is kind of indecisive. If you look at it this way, we do have a pretty strong downward trend line that we're bouncing off at the moment as well, and we are on the underside of Dickinson. And remember, Dickinson is what defines the strength of our trend. Okay, so you can see here, price tends to stick to it, and when it does stick to it like this, we're in a pretty solid trend. In this case, it's an uptrend. Right now, we're kind of going sideways, a little bit down, sideways. So not much happening from a trend perspective, but if we do start moving to the downside, you'd expect price to start sticking to Dickinson. Okay, moving to daily. So the first thing that we all know is that this 200 EMA is keeping price in check, and price is bouncing off it. Now, there's a lot of people that are saying that this is what's going to offer support, and so long as we don't break this, we're staying long. Now, I'm going to point out a few things here, and this is the one thing that I missed. So that level that we drew in, I think let's just make that level bright red, and let's just make it really thick so we don't miss it. Okay, so on the daily, so if you're watching my video from Friday, I was looking for a long back to sort of back to 11 hours. I'm actually looking for us to get to the top of the cloud. Okay, but there's one thing that I didn't pay attention to, and that was this Brooks gap here. You can see the tail of this bar, price will come back to challenge it. Okay, it did come back here, but if you actually just zoom in, you'll see that we came back to challenge it. I mean, it's not quite on its there. Maybe what we should do is just delete that. Make it on the daily, and that will give us a better indication. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So there, so you see, that's the bottom of that tail, right? So you expect that to be challenged somewhere along the line. So I don't know what I was thinking. I was probably assuming that this bar challenged it, but in reality we didn't. This is the bar that challenged it. And you can see we turned right off it. So the correct thing to do would have been waiting at this level with a short order, and quite frankly you could have sat here with a 30 point stop loss. So what that means is, if you look at your risk, you could have loaded a lot more contracts on for the same amount of risk, okay, as basically anything else, because your stop here, it would have bounced off here. It doesn't matter what's going on. It typically always bounces off these levels on the daily. Okay, so you could have had a very tight stop loss, or alternatively, what you could have done is had it here and moved the stop up above this pin bar here, the top of this tail. Okay, and if you're just trading Ichimoku, obviously you'd want to have your stop loss above the cloud, somewhere in this region. But that's kind of far from me. So what I typically do is get in with a very narrow stop loss, maybe even just reduce my total trade, so it's only 2% risk rather than 3% risk. So it allows me to put a number of contracts in. What this would have done for you is you would have got the spike to the bottom. So it was a 400 odd point move to the downside. Okay, so yeah, so I mean that's just hopefully you learn something out of that. I can tell you now that it's not the first time that I've done it, and it won't be the last time. Yeah, you will miss things, and the trick is to understand why you missed them and move on. Get busy with the next trade and don't dwell on what you've missed. I mean, I was stopped out of my long here. Didn't go horribly wrong. We had a small loss because I moved my stop up as we were gaining a bit of traction, but yeah, it wasn't the trade of the day. The trade of the day was short. It was short from that level. Okay, so again, we on this downward trend line, we are underneath the cloud. Okay, we are heading sideways with Dickinson and Dickinson. So we're not. There's no real direction. So it's really sideways at the moment. And this is one that I am watching. So I'm gonna ignore these two tails for now. Okay, and I typically do that because the first two tails aren't really the direction that it starts picking up. So if you look carefully at all the charts, you'll see after the first one or two bars to the downside, when it starts moving in an upward direction, then the rest of the bars tend to find that the route that it's going to travel. And let's just have a look here. So we do have, so there's two things here. So we do have a bit of a channel. So you can see these two bars form the channel. But I think in this case, it is still a channel, but what we are doing inside this channel is we are moving in line of the wedge at a major resistance level below the cloud. Okay, so from a price action perspective, this is starting to look bearish. Okay, and the other thing that is bearish is we've got Ichimoku, which is below price, below the cloud, below Dickinson and Fujitsu. So we have a very, very bearish, from a Ichimoku perspective, we are very much bearish. Okay, we have a double top here essentially between this day and this day, but we are slightly down to the downside on LBB, which is basically, if you look at that versus straight, well, that is divergence. Okay, so that is divergence indicating that we are reversing. But bear in mind, guys, this divergence can't continue for a long time. So I'd be looking for a couple more signals before jumping in. And okay, so, and I mean, you can see how we gapped up and then moved to the downside. This was this morning, so we gapped up 170 points. So right now, if you look from the 4-hour perspective, we did break through the cloud. We are, this band is above price cloud, and we have I mean, that is bullish. We've had a twist which is bullish. We had a crossover way back here, okay, which is also bullish. But this wedge that's forming here on the 4-hour is pretty much, I don't know how to put it, it's doesn't fill me with much confidence. And then the other thing is to notice, just use green, so you can see how price from this swing high to this swing high is moving to the downside. But if we look at over V, we are moving to the upside. Okay, reverse divergence, so, and it's off a level. So whenever I see divergence off a level like this, I'm expecting a reversal of sorts. So for me, I'm just going to just delete all objects right now, and let's just get these levels. So there's a previous swing low, which was challenged, broken, challenged, broken. Okay, so that's the first level that's going to need to hold. If this level holds, okay, then we have a fairly good chance of this coming back to the top. And I'll just put that. I want to put there's two levels here I want to pay attention to. So that's the one there at the top of the cloud. Okay, and let's just make that green so we know what we're talking about. Okay. And then the other level that we're looking for is at Brooks Gap. Okay, and let's just head back to the 4 hour. Right. So that's the top of the cloud. Okay, and our wedge here, which we have kind of fallen through on Friday at the close, and the top of this wedge takes us to there, and you can see why I say that this is actually a channel. You see that's 1, 2, 3, 4 candles touching the top of the channel. So the only difference, only thing that's happening here is we're in a channel, the price is moving to this side, which is where the wedge comes to play. So just showing you that it's kind of leaning towards breaking out of this to the downside. So what we're looking for here is either a retest up here, okay, where I'll take a stab at a short, and alternatively anything that looks like it's breaking to the downside here and breaking this wedge. And your targets are going to be pretty simple. It's going to be this tail here, then it's going to be this tail, and then the bottom of the beginning of the wedge, which will be here. Okay, but let's just get to the 1 hour. So you can see from the 1 hour, single span is in price at the moment. Okay, it's very much in price, indicating a range. Single span and Dickinson and Kijinson are joined at the hip at the moment, so they're quite happy with what price is doing, and we're just bouncing off the top of the cloud. Now, I'm not sure, I'm not going to have a stab at a long here. I would look for something more stable, sort of on the 4 hour or possibly on the daily. So I definitely look for a long at this pin bar. Okay, because what could happen is that this wedge could form into a range, sideways range. This 200 EMA that we're backing to get through also doesn't fill me with much confidence. So if we start rising to the top here, I'll be looking for on top of this pin bar, somewhere in that area for a short. Otherwise, we'll drill down to lower time frame to see what's happening. And my bias is more to the short side at the moment until we break this level to the upside. If we break this level convincingly to the upside, then I'll start looking for long. But right now, the way things are set up and looking at all the top stocks in the US markets, this is not filling me with much confidence for continuation of this up move. There's more of a chance of more consolidation to the downside or a proper sell-off to the downside. Anyway, that's the Dow. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you guys later.